Welcome to the Red Tech Daily Podcast, powered by artificial intelligence. I'm your host, Marguerite Clark, bringing you the latest updates and insights from the world of radio broadcasting and digital audio industries. Today, we're diving into a pressing issue impacting community radio stations across France, along with other notable stories from around the globe. Our top story today highlights a significant concern for community radio in France. The Syndicat National des Radios Libres and the Confédération Nationale des Radios Associatives, two major organizations representing community radio in the country, have issued a joint statement condemning the government's proposed 35% cut to the Fonds de soutien à l'expression radiophonique in the 2025 finance bill. This fund, established by the French government, is crucial for supporting community radio stations, particularly non-commercial broadcasters, ensuring they can continue to produce content that reflects local voices and issues. According to the Syndicat National des Radios Libres and the Confédération Nationale des Radios Associatives, this funding cut would remove more than 10 million euros from the community radio sector, posing potentially devastating consequences for local stations nationwide. Together, these organizations represent nearly 700 community radio stations and warn that the reduction jeopardizes a sector that is vital to local democratic and cultural life. Community radio stations play an essential role by providing a voice to underrepresented groups, fostering social cohesion, and encouraging diverse viewpoints. Despite their efforts, the proposed cuts disproportionately target community radio stations, which account for only 4% of the media, books, and cultural industries department's budget. Out of the 12 million euros in overall savings demanded by the finance bill, 10.4 million euros would be removed from local radio funding. The Syndicat National des Radios Libres and the Confédération Nationale des Radios Associatives call this an existential threat to many stations. The consequences of this funding reduction could be severe, particularly in terms of employment. Community radio is the second largest employer in the French radio sector, meaning job losses are likely if stations cannot secure sufficient funding. More broadly, the very existence of these stations is under threat. If implemented, the funding reduction could lead to the closure of numerous stations, undermining diversity and pluralism in the French media landscape. Community radio stations, often described as last-mile media, provide a valuable alternative to mainstream outlets by supporting local artists, promoting regional initiatives, and offering training opportunities for volunteers and employees. The Syndicat National des Radios Libres and the Confédération Nationale des Radios Associatives find the proposed cuts paradoxical in light of the government's stated commitment to media diversity and press freedom. Initiatives like the États Généraux de l'Information and ARCOM's acceleration of DAB+ deployment, where community radio plays a central role, seem at odds with the financial threat now being imposed on the sector. In addition, community radio plays a key part in the social and solidarity economy, which is recognized for fostering citizen cohesion. The two organizations are urging members of parliament and local elected officials to reject the proposal and support community radio stations, which serve as vital tools for local democracy and cultural life. The Syndicat National des Radios Libres and the Confédération Nationale des Radios Associatives stress that the government's approach risks destabilizing an already vulnerable sector, which has long operated with limited resources but remains essential to French society. We cannot allow community radio to be the casualty of budget cuts, the statement reads. The repercussions will be felt not only by the stations themselves, but by the communities they serve, the local artists they support, and the social and cultural fabric they help to strengthen. Beasley Media Group's Charlotte, North Carolina cluster recently hosted a supply drive to collect essential items for areas severely impacted by Hurricane Helene. Despite Charlotte being in the hurricane's path, the western part of North Carolina experienced more significant damage. The Charlotte area broadcasters, which include stations WNKS, WPEG, WSOC, WBAV, and WKQC, reach many towns, counties, and rural areas in western North Carolina. The effort saw talent and staff come together to fill 4 truckloads of water, clothing, non-perishable items, pet food, and more. John Reynolds, Beasley Media Group, Vice President of Music and Entertainment and Charlotte Operations Manager, expressed his pride in the team's unity, emphasizing their commitment to supporting neighbors in Western Carolina and continuing to use their brands for community aid. The 35th Australian Commercial Radio and Audio Awards took center stage on Saturday, October 12th at the Star in Sydney, celebrating the pinnacle of radio and podcasting talent across Australia. Brendan Jones and Amanda Keller of WSFM triumphed once again, securing their 5th Best On-Air Team, Metro Award, while Ben Fordham of 2 GB Sydney was honored as Individual Talent of the Year, Metro, and also clinched Best Talk Presenter, Metro, for the second year in a row. The Kyle and Jackie O Hour of Power, ARN, continued its dominance by winning Best Networked Show. CRA Chief Executive Officer Lizzie Young commended the winners, emphasizing that these awards highlight the creativity and dedication propelling the audio industry forward. In the podcasting realm, Hannah's Story from 9 Podcasts, 9 Radio took home Podcast of the Year, with Brittany Hockley and Laura Byrne of Life Uncut, ARN iHeart, named Podcast Hostess of the Year. Joey Watson from List NR was celebrated as Best New Talent podcast, showcasing his burgeoning presence in comedy. Young also underscored the transformative power of podcasts, noting the nearly 9% increase in monthly podcast listeners and the role of genres like true crime and comedy in shaping modern media. Young concluded that the 2024 ACRA Awards are not just a recognition of past achievements, but a celebration of the future of audio, with these creators leading the charge in transforming content consumption. Let's turn our attention now to an intriguing development in the world of in-car audio entertainment. Recent data from Xperi's DTS AutoStage has highlighted some fascinating trends in music listenership within vehicles, particularly when it comes to crossover country music. According to their top most listened to songs in vehicle for the third quarter of 2024 report, Shaboozey's bar song Tipsy has taken the #1 spot both in the United States and globally. Sabrina Carter's Espresso is maintaining its momentum, staying in the top 5 and clinching the #1 position in the United Kingdom. Meanwhile, Post Malone's crossover country hit I Had Some Help has made an impressive debut in the top 5 in both the United States and worldwide. This data, extracted from the AutoStage in-vehicle platform, signals a broader trend in music consumption. The ability to seamlessly cross genres seems to be resonating with listeners, offering a new dimension to how we experience music in our cars. Joe D'Angelo, Senior Vice President of Broadcast at Xperi, elaborates on this trend, noting that the blending of genres is not just a passing fad. As evidenced by these charts, listeners are embracing this musical evolution, demonstrating a growing appetite for diverse auditory experiences on the road. For those of us in the broadcasting and digital audio industries, this shift is significant. It underscores the importance of collecting and analyzing listener data with greater precision and granularity. Such insights can inform how content is curated and delivered, ultimately enhancing the listener's experience and expanding opportunities for artists to reach new audiences. As technology continues to evolve, platforms like DTS AutoStage are at the forefront, offering a glimpse into the future of in-car infotainment. That wraps up today's episode of the RedTech Daily Podcast. For more in-depth articles and the latest updates in the radio broadcast and digital audio industries, visit our website at redtech.pro. Thank you for tuning in, and we'll be back tomorrow with more news and insights. Until then, take care.